We're gonna try it again. All right. I'm just gonna pick back up where we left off. I'm not exactly even sure what happened there. But we gonna start back at that. All right, sis. I'm not sure what happened. It just kind of froze on us all, I do believe. But as I was saying before, the live cut off, I came to the duration or the derivative of this transparency because I, I came into the realization that um, my sound is what needed to be worked on because in being transparent, my girls and I pulled into a parking lot. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but you know what? We gonna press forward. But hey, y'all, I had pulled into my parking lot and my girls were in the car and my daughter, my oldest girl was driving and it was two people standing out in the parking lot arguing. And it was a heated fellowship. No one could park. So my daughter kind of got impatient and she was like, well, they need to move. And, she kind of got real testy real fast. And I was like, you know what? I said, we're just going to go on and pull around the back and we'll park on the other side of the apartments. So we parked, walked through the apartments. They were still there arguing. I walked in the house. We unloaded groceries. I realized I left my phone in the car. Y'all, it had to be 15, 20 minutes. I walked outside. They were still at it. And you could hear the explicits. You could hear them going back and forth with who loved who more, who didn't love who, or, the conversations were heated. The conversations were passionate. They were angry. They were emotional. So I walked back in the house and I went on about my evening. I didn't think anything of it. Well, the next day, we were getting ready to leave, and I said, y'all, I went out to the car and they were still arguing. And my baby said, yeah, that's how you and dad sound. That was like a light bulb moment for me. So I immediately said, we don't talk like that to each other. My baby said, Mama, you don't have to say what they said. You sounded like they sounded. That was pivotal for me in lieu of sound. So I began to ask God, drop in my spirit the instructions to change my sound. I don't want to sound angry. I don't want to sound like we're at a discourse or like we in war. I don't want to sound like there was never a place of love. I don't want to sound like this was the worst thing that has ever happened or the worst person I've ever coexisted with. I don't want to sound that way. And more importantly, the open display. Not realizing that I was sowing seeds of discourse, sowing seeds of bitterness. No, I may not talk negative about him. I might not talk negative about the situation, but the situation triggered me enough to the degree where I didn't care what I sounded like. So that brought me to town. How do you use your tongue? When you study or when you read, or even if you don't study or if you don't read, you commonly hear life and death is in your tongue. You commonly hear be careful what you say. You commonly hear Don't put that in the atmosphere. So I said, Lord, teach me how to not put it in the atmosphere, because I feel this way. I just do. I just do. And what he did not do immediately was change the in me, because what he left me to understand was it would change if I changed my confession. So what was I using my tongue for? It wasn't all the way love, because what I saw and what I heard and what my kids confirmed, that wasn't love. And is that really how I want people to look at me when it comes to that matter? Or not necessarily him, anybody else to rub me wrong, in the grocery store, in traffic. Is that how I want to be perceived? Is that how I want to be heard? And better yet, Lord, is this me living love in survival mode? Teach me how. So when he dropped in my spirit and I ingested, change the confession. Change the confession. He told me, think about what you want to say, but say what's appropriate. And I said, everything is appropriate. That's what I felt like. Everything was appropriate. I need to say it. And so he said, keep saying it, keep getting the same results. Change your confession. And if you can't change your confession, don't say nothing at all. So again, I had to have some checks and balances some more. So I went to the mirror and I talked to the lady in the mirror, and I said, okay, girl, like we got to pull this together, because, you know, the Lord said it's possible. You may not want to, but it's possible. So let's figure out how. Y'all, it goes back to me saying, when I looked at the mechanism of the tongue, and when I looked at all of the components of the tongue, it's 3 inches that we see. But it's multifaceted in its sectioning. It's multifaceted in its functions. It's multifaceted, as we all agree, of what you can do with it, how you can do with it. So he took me to when I said I needed to just say it. And he repeated it to me again, loud and clear. He said, Tam, think about what you want to say and say what's appropriate. I tucked my tail and I said, okay. Proverbs 21 and 23 says, whoever keeps his mouth and tongue keeps himself out of trouble. Okay, God, I'm going to quit fighting you on this, because obviously you're right. That's just one scripture that told me to shut up. If I couldn't say nothing at all that was going to edify, if I couldn't say nothing at all that was going to glorify, if I couldn't say nothing at all that was going to serve as praise or a thanksgiving, just hush. Okay, God, now that I'm on hush, what should I be saying? What should I sound like? Show me that too, because Tam want to deliver this in Tam fashion, and ain't nothing about how I want to say it. You show me how. So he then said from Proverbs 15 and 4, a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. So I can't cuss them out, not him, but them out. Now, Tam, because that ain't gentle. I can't say it like this. Now, Tam, because while you might be right and while you might be justified in how you feel, how you say it evokes anger. Why should I have to care that it evoked anger? Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. What are the fruits? So, when my confession is gentle, I don't stare up and there's not an additional strife. And while those things remain in this season, my journey becomes a little bit more bearable, a little bit more easier, because why? I'm not evoking anything. Because why? I didn't have nothing to say positive. So I thought about it and said what was appropriate. I had to realize that because I chose not to say nothing how I wanted to say it, and I chose to say nothing of what was appropriate, it didn't make me weak. It didn't make me less than. In fact, it gave me the leverage I needed to walk further in the light, to journey that much more simpler, that much more easier. Why? Because he was my mouthpiece. I didn't have to show up and do nothing no different but what he told me to do, and that was hush or be gentle. So again, guys, what was Tam supposed to sound like? And I encourage you to change your confession and change your sound. Get in the mirror and ask God to show you you, so that your sound can change. And it can change from a place where you don't feel like you're losing you. You can change from a place where you feel and know that it is him. So what should we sound like? If we're going to be loud and we're going to be seen, or we're going to announce that we're showing up, we should sound like a trumpet. Because each time a trumpet is used, they're summoning war. It's a symbol of battle. You know that I'm coming for you. He's sending me there. In fact, he's gone before me. I just got to show up. And when I'm not sounding off for war like a trumpet, I should be planting and sowing seeds of life. I should be edifying. I should be glorifying. I should be uplifting. I should be encouraging. I should be motivating. He said, count it all joy. So no matter what your season is, joy should be what you sound like. He said, enter into my gates with thanksgiving. No matter what my season is, I should be thankful. I should have some thanksgiving. He said, I am enough. I don't have to use my tongue as a weapon of war for the defense, because he has already worked that thing out. So I've learned to hush. When I'm silent, it ain't because I don't see it, and it ain't because I don't want to address it. It's just that I don't have bail money, and I know that if he do it, it's done right. Y'all, I could go on and on and on, because we have to figure out how to walk in a manner where love is what spews out of us. You know, we as women can be catty and nasty. And when I say we, I mean we, and that includes me. You know, he will teach us how to talk. He will teach us how to feel in those moments. And he will also keep you from those triggers that make you feel like you got to put Jesus on the shelf and talk how you want to talk. Or Tam talks like she want to talk. I encourage you to have mirror conversations, guys, and be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. If you know you petty, address petty. If you know you gossip, address gossip. If you know you lie, Address lying. If you know you steal, address stealing. If you overeat, address overeating. If you're undereating, address undereating. Address it all. What should we use our tongue for? To name that stuff that we having a hard time confronting so we can grow. God is so good. And that we have the ability to speak to one another, to uplift one another. I encourage you. Learn how to love with your words. Learn how to love with your actions. But the reason I'm saying words is because words will tear somebody down and you'll never know you killed them. So when we're saying the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, look in the mirror and ask yourself, have you ever been that enemy? Because those words killed, they stole, and they destroyed. Once I realized I was toxic in that area, child, I went on and yielded, y'all, because it's too much to support the wise. Not to mention, when I laid that part of me down, he opened up so many other doors. Because while I was likable, that made me that much more lovable. That made me that much more tolerable. That made me that much more durable. Y'all, it's worth it. Is it easy? No. And am I telling you I got it mastered? No. So y'all pray for me like I'm praying for you. But in the meanwhile, I want you to look in the mirror and re-examine what your tongue do, sis. On that note, it's been a long day. I love y'all. And as I tell my sisters all the time, trust God. Trust Him when you don't feel Him. Trust Him no matter what it looks like. Trust Him no matter what it smells like. Trust Him no matter what it tastes like. Look in the mirror. Love on you, as Mika say. Love on you. I love y'all. Prayer is tomorrow. Get your prayer request in so that we can stand in the gap for you too. Thursday night, we have Mika with Thursday Night Inspiration Live at 7:30. Join us. You will be fed. Take parts in all parts of the group. As Mika say, we are planting, and we're planting. We're leaving tools for success if you just look in the mirror and assess yourself. This is you and you versus you. Look in the mirror and do an assessment and come to this group and grab the tool you need to help you. We have a phone number. Call it. Bury your soul. It goes nowhere. It goes nowhere but to our directors. Prayer. If you don't want to leave it on the web, in the group, call the number. We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe. We love y'all. We love you. We love you. We love you. I truly pray that after all this rambling, y'all was able to take away something. Y'all have a blessed night.